Hello. Right, little different. It's not about Sky Glass, it is about Fujifilm. This little bad boy. Now, this is my first Fujifilm camera I've ever owned. I've used pretty much every single make, well, except for the real high-end sort of Hasselblads and stuff like that, cameras. And with the Fuji, I totally get and I totally understand what it's all about. So if you're a film photographer, you would have to sort out your film, your film in your camera, select what you're using. You'll have to know how your scene or shot is sort of lit up and everything else sort of along those lines, what sort of ISO you need, shutter speed, your aperture, and take a photo. That's it, bang. Then you go develop it. You can't Photoshop it after that. That's it. So what Fujifilm have done is you basically do that sort of thing, but you use a JPEG instead of RAW, so you don't do any post editing and this, that and the other. Why should you need to if you're taking a decent photo? It's it should be sort of in your head and in your eye. Even though you're still doing it in a digital format, you will be able to see it before you've actually clicked that button. But you set everything up, click that button, take your photo, there, done. Nothing to do in editing at all. Well, you may want to tweak it a little bit, some people do. The photos that I took recently in an infrared film grade, they just went straight on the internet. They went straight uploading on the site I have my pictures, and people love them and they look absolutely fantastic. They're how they should be, and I totally understand why Fujifilm are doing their film simulations where you can select the type of film. It's not bang on what it would be for film, but it's really good, and it's got my I've been doing photography since I was about 14 years old, and it's got my spark back a little bit. It's much better where you get the Sonys. I've got the Sony cameras. I've got full frame Sony cameras. I've got APS-C cameras. I've got some. I've got a couple of bridge cameras. That's just, I don't know why I bought them. They don't really get used, but they're still pretty cool because they got the long reach on the zoom. I have got some really old digital cameras. I too still have a Canon film camera. What else do I have? I've got action cameras which don't really get used. The only action camera that gets used is my Insta360 because it's fun to use and it's good if you're going on a little day out with the family or with your mates. You can do so much with it, and you can just stick it up, walk around with it on a pole. Doesn't matter where you point it because you can edit it later on. Absolutely fine, just as long as you've got a fast enough guard. What other cameras? I don't know. You know, I've had so many cameras. It's unreal. My favourite camera was a Fuji Filmpix S3 Pro. That camera was so close to film. It was unreal. It was absolutely fantastic. And this is very similar to it. You can get the grain. You can get the look that you want by dialing that in before you take the photo, so you don't edit it afterwards, which is how photography should be. You shouldn't be you shouldn't be cropping really at all. As soon as you crop, you lose all your megapixels, this, that and the other, unless you've got a massive megapixel camera like 40-50 megapixels, and then you crop in. They're designed for that, but it's not my sort of thing. You don't need to crop if you position your scene, whatever you're taking, as you want it to look. That's how it should be, and that's how a photo should be. Straight out of your eyes, straight out of your mind. Not editing, not putting your fake skies in afterwards, because that's not a photo. That's pretty much AI. That's what AI photography does. And why? You don't need Photoshop. You've seen me using my aperture program, very light modifications to photos, when not even with the Fuji. I don't think I did with the Fuji. Oh no, I did some color effects. but that's before I'd done the film grain. So it was mainly with the Sony, because it's very sharp, but you have to muck about with the colours with Sony, because the colours aren't quite there. With Fuji, absolutely fantastic. And I can see why people are going out buying the Fuji cameras now. And you've got a few YouTubers on here saying, don't buy Fuji, buy something else. No, I disagree. Buy Fuji, don't buy anything else. Get yourself a decent camera for your video. Probably a Sony would be your best bet. Or if you can afford something stupid like a Red or Sigma FP, not the FPL, the FP, because it's got better low light, it's got a big sensor, enough pixels. The FPL is really for photography, no good for video. No stabilization, which you stick it on a gimbal, that's how they're meant to be used anyway. Get yourself a decent stills camera. If you're getting stills, go Fuji. I will never sell that camera, I don't think, unless I buy another Fuji. I'm thinking maybe a medium format Fuji. That'd be nice. Anyway, that's all I had to say. I just wanted to say my bit with all these people saying don't buy Fuji, buy some, whatever else, buy Fuji. It's got it perfectly. They've been there forever. With film, they know their film recipes. You can go online, people are sharing their own film recipes, and then you can dial it into your camera, save it. Spot on. That's perfect. It's as close as film photography as you're gonna get in my eyes. If there's something else out there, do please let me know. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.